Pals for Life.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Pals for Life. Pals for Life is weekly radio for anyone who wants to enjoy World of Warcraft with some extra pals. Today is December 28th, 2014. My name is Wilson, and I'm joined today by Randall.
What's up, guys?
And Lane.
Hello.
Just a heads up, we will be taking a break to recover from the holidays next week, so there will not be a show next Sunday. But for now, let's jump right into this. Our Spellbreaker topic is PSA. So, you guys know that the WoW 10th anniversary is well underway, but just a little reminder, that's going to be ending on January 5th. So if you want to get your Corgi and Molten Core runs before they go away for good, make sure you log into the game and check out all of that new content.
That Corgi is freaking adorable. Get the heck on it.
Yeah, dude. He wipes his little lava butt all over the floor.
Yep, and then there's little lava trails everywhere because apparently he poops lava.
Lava turds.
Oh, man, can you imagine doing that? That would hurt a lot. Maybe not if you're...
I mean, he's like made of lava, though.
Yeah.
Don't you feed him Taco Bell?
I mean,
No, Wilson, we know you would feed him Taco Bell, but
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if anybody else would. That'd kind of be torture.
yeah, I know.
Speaking
Well,
from
other people have different staples to their diet besides Taco Bell, so.
Don't get me wrong. Love me some Taco Bell, but that's probably why that Corgi is made of lava now. Let's be honest.
Oh man. So if you want to grab the Corgi, and you can also get, some special PvP titles, South Shore Slayer or Terran Mill Terror for either Horde or Alliance.
The Alliance.
Be sure to check that out. And we're going to go ahead and move on over to Tavern Talk. This is the section of the show where we hear news and rumors heard from all over. And the first thing on the list is Rob Pardo speaks out on a BBC podcast, a radio show rather, about esports going into the Olympic sphere.
Oof.
Mm.
I
don't
feel like
know.
I've heard this a million times now.
I think it's just, it's just not as appealing. Because, I don't know, it's like the mental athletes just don't have the same appeal as physical athletes,
Absolutely not.
You can tell that's also true just for, like, even different sports, even if, like, people, what sports do people like in the Olympics? It's like the ones, like, where people do crazy athletic feats. The boring ones, like ping pong and stuff, like, which people still watch, like, are not nearly as watched as, like, sprints or something like that.
I mean, there's just not as much action in them. Or the action's less frequent.
Yeah.
The Olympics seem to, specifically the Olympics, seem to, have their hands tied when it comes to what the most popular things are. And, honestly, I don't think that video games would really fit in the Olympics. I think saying something like this is kind of just more of a shock factor thing almost. I don't think there's ever going to be a point where video games are actually a part of the Olympics. If video games want some sort of Olympics, they'll go off and make their own, and it'll just have a bunch of different video
X games or something, right?
Yeah, it'll be like the video game X Games, and I'm sure that'll happen within like next 10 or 15 years. That's a great idea. That'd be really cool, and it'd be like every 2 years, the best people in all the video games go and compete at this huge tournament somewhere, and that sounds awesome. If somebody could get that together, please do.
And a couple of points of clarification. I mean, he was kind of pitching it for, maybe Winter Olympics. I think that's an interesting...
Bundle up.
I don't know.
We're playing video games.
Yeah, and most of the Olympics that people think about are, the big five sports from the summer games, not necessarily stuff from the winter games, besides maybe figure skating or something like that.
Yeah. Honestly, enjoy watching winter games more because snowboarding is cool.
Oh, dude, snowboarding is so cool.
I wish I could do it. I mean, I haven't tried, but I wish I could.
I mean, we don't really live in an area that's, like, meant for that, so. Maybe we can go dirtboarding, right? Dirtboarding? That's the thing?
It all depends on your attitude, man.
You can do it with all the dirt and sand there. When one of those big haboobs comes in again, I bet you could ride that dirt in the air.
That's where the hoverboard comes in. So the other thing is that even if you become an Olympic sport, that doesn't mean you're going to be included in the games. That just means that you can present a case to the IOC, which presides over the Olympics.
That's interesting. Did not know that.
Yeah, I did.
The more you know, guys.
And Pardo made a point, though, that if you define a sport by physical exertion, there are already certain sports in the Olympics that don't kind of fit that definition. So
that's true. I mean, but they're still physical, though. I mean,
yeah, it's not
is
physical exertion. it's physical prowess, I think, and that applies. I mean, there is a physical prowess aspect of most video games, but it's not to like 90%, and that's only like 30% of what you're doing in a lot of video games, in my opinion, because obviously strategy and stuff like that is more important. Go ahead.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, there is like mechanical skill of just actions per minute. Yeah. Talk about StarCraft in particular.
But we all know that's like, that's not 100%.
Oh yeah, that's everything. APM. That's
I was about to say, I think I run about 380 APM when I really try. I don't really do much, but I do get that 380.
We can all run 380 APM if we really try.
All right.
I can't. Dude, I haven't played StarCraft forever. And I mean, there is a point there, and I feel like I'm probably pretty opinionated on the subject, but I feel like video games just don't fit in with things that require you being on your feet and doing stuff as far as a sport sort of setting goes. It just doesn't make sense to me.
I don't think it would fit in very well.
Yeah, it definitely wouldn't.
I think that's the biggest thing is like, you have all these games with a lot of spectacle, and no doubt that esports are a spectator-friendly sport, but, it just seems a little bizarre. Like, it would have a much better fitting with the X Games, in my opinion, oddly enough.
Yeah. Maybe X Games just come up and be like, esports X Games, go!
I think that the best way for it to happen would be is if esports were to latch on to an existing kind of world stage, or even national stage for the United States, rather.
What? And I mean,
like the X Games.
Oh yeah, okay.
Or the Olympics, but if we're going to throw the Olympics out for not being, close to the same demographic, if you will.
I think if games made it to the Olympics also, like it would just be a particular game. Also, I think. Like, there's no way they could include just like a ton of games. It'd only be a single.
What are we gonna do?
CS:GO. I mean, it would probably be like League or CS:GO. Yeah.
And there's like an ephemeral factor here, right? Like those games like basketball and stuff aren't really changing. There's no, content updates to fencing.
Dude,
really.
That's what we need. We need freaking meta changes in basketball, football, and soccer and all those things.
The closest thing that comes to mind is, when they were changing the material on the Speedos for swimming, right? Like there's like some controversy about that a while back.
They just need to change the rules more often, I guess. Not really.
So, yeah. I guess that it's nice to see esports continue to grow somehow.
And it's only going to keep growing. So, I mean, it's going to evolve to be its own thing. I think it's its own entity. There's no reason to latch on to something that is already extremely well defined like the Olympics. Especially when esports is so young.
All right, so be on the lookout. I mean, if esports do become an Olympic sport, the rumblings of that were heard here on Palace for Life first. So our next topic is going to be pretty much the meat of our show today, and it's about high-profile players that are World of Warcraft streamers are getting banned. And the first one that happened to is Wreckful. Pretty popular WoW streamer, has been totally banned from the game. Yeah. And actually this is covered in the terms of service, actually. You can check Blizzard's website, on Battle.net rather, and basically Blizzard has the right to ban someone without warning for any reason or for no reason, with or without notice.
I love that. For no reason.
I'm sure they make it so absolute so people can't wiggle their way out of things, though.
Yeah.
Oh, no doubt.
Like, almost certainly, like, if someone appealed with, like, a reasonable case, they would, like, let them back in. But.
Yeah, I'm guessing, Blizzard this was when Blizzard was even younger.
Yeah.
They didn't have the money for lawyers, and they were just how can we word this? That's how you do it on the cheap, rather than hiring legal aid.
So, basically, they were just account sharing, it seems, or Wreckful.
Yeah, essentially. Something like that. Like Wreckful is playing for someone else kind of thing.
Yeah, I think, here's what it says in the article. It says, this ban wasn't made by mistake either. It came shortly after Wreckful had been playing on a viewer's account. Over the years, Wreckful hasn't been a stranger to account sharing, going as far as to say during stream that he hadn't personally leveled his own row. So, has this always been a policy with Blizzard?
I think Blizzard's always been, an advocate against sharing accounts. And so, yeah, I think Blizzard's always had this stance, but this is a stage for them to, set the example. It's like anytime, somebody gets caught doing they're not supposed to and they get made an example out of it, it's a very serious blow to kind of scare everyone into behaving a certain way.
Certainly. They're not banning every single person that's, like, account sharing because, first off, you can't tell who all is account sharing. The only reason they know Reckful's doing it is because he is a streamer, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
And then,
otherwise, there really isn't a way to tell.
The other person who did it was Soda, right? And
Right.
it's like he did the same thing. Soda, whichever. He's
Not
got
to be
an A in
confused
there, it's confusing.
with Soda Puppet.
Wow.
Right.
I don't know. I guess this would be a good time for us to, since we set the stage here, just swap on over to the Twisting Nether. If you want to just run us on over.
Yeah, we're going to go ahead and move over to the Twisting Nether. This is where we have kind of a rambling discussion of a topic at hand. And in this case, we're going to be talking about, I guess, the ethics of suspending or banning outright players.
Yeah, the whole topic of account sharing in general to me is very interesting when it comes to World of Warcraft because, I'm an avid player of League of Legends, and League of Legends, they don't tolerate that crap. If they find you account sharing, they will ban you. And this happens to pros pretty often because, it's you see it right here with Reckful. He said he didn't level his rogue, and that's what a lot of pros don't like doing. They don't like doing all that, low level crap. Yeah, the work that got them to where they are for, the other accounts. Because once you get to a certain part, the end game sort of stuff, you kind of just have to start over. And they don't feel like doing that a lot of times. But I've never really heard of WoW being quite like this. So has there been a time before now that they've really cracked down on this?
Well, in the past, there have been several times where Blizzard has come down and rained hellfire on people for, using the glider add-on, or bot rather, that would do different things for you in the game, basically level up your characters. So Blizzard has been known to come down on the player base whenever they need to. They don't want players having an unfair advantage.
Yeah.
They've really showed that they can, throw down the hammer of wrath when they need to. So.
Yeah, I was also reading on Soda's, and it's interesting how he says he's not boosting anyone's rating. He's just playing on a friend's druid because he didn't want to lose rating on his main character, and which is why a lot of people have Smurfs, obviously. Smurf being the alternate account that a lot of people have. And I think it's interesting that he mentions out at the very end of that how Reckful did a poll on his stream where 84% of people said the account shared in the past. And obviously that's not necessarily going to be 100% true or 100% accurate rather, because if a bunch of people are on his stream that, support him, they're obviously going to side with him in that and may or may not truthfully respond. But have you guys, no, we're not going to go there, I guess. But, how common do you think account sharing is? You guys used to share a freaking account between yourselves, right?
Yeah,
right.
but that's slightly different, though, for sure.
Yeah, that's obviously different,
But yeah, flashback here, 8 years ago, let's say, whenever Randall and I first started playing WoW, we only could really afford it, because we only had really one good computer.
Yeah, there's only one.
We just had one account, and we had our characters each on that account, and that worked for us. Obviously, it was a complete disregard for the terms of service in some ways, but we're also middle school kids, not really fully aware of the situation. But I think when you're a streamer and you're broadcasting this type of behavior to thousands of viewers, it's a little different.
It's also kind of selling the reputation of Blizzard, right? Just saying I'm immune to your scrutiny in a way.
Right, and it kind of makes Blizzard look bad too if they're not enforcing.
That's what it is, right? Blizzard doesn't look like they're just pushovers and people can just do whatever they want to. That creates a bad atmosphere in the game, right? Then you have lots of bots and stuff like that because everyone just gets away with anything.
Right, and trade chat's bad enough as it is.
Yeah, dude.
So
this is. I know Blizzard is pretty far up there in terms of busting your butt if you try to, basically log in from another IP or something like that. They're like, hold on, let's roll it back for a second and then make sure you are who you say you are. I know Desi had to deal with that not too long ago, and I haven't had to because I had to just start a new account. But I imagine if I would have logged in on my other one, I would have had to confirm all that stuff with them as well. So they've definitely cracked down on it quite a bit.
Yeah,
no doubt. And I guess the final note here is that there's an official Blizzard tweet that says, be aware that malicious activity on an account does not simply include doing damage to that account, but also sharing to gain an in-game advantage. The account was warned for the same behavior previously, as such, the account action will stay. So, according to Blizzard, they've actually contacted and warned Reckful about this before. So
yeah, that doesn't surprise me, and that's what it is too, right? When me and Wilson shared an account, we weren't like benefiting each other or anything. If anything, we were hindering each other because we had to play on different times.
You guys had like 2 separate characters, right? I'd assume. Yeah.
Yep.
You play on my character, I'm gonna kill you, bro.
Right. The only time that changed was when we were both trying to rush to 60, and instead of, it was funny, we just took shifts playing on each other's characters.
Old days.
To different.
When we didn't have jobs.
Right, that was a different time. But
so naive.
At any rate, I'm also going to ask that any Blizzard devs who happen to be somehow listening to this podcast to give us a little bit of immunity here for things that we've done in the past.
Yeah, I hope you guys don't get suddenly like shadow banned or something.
Forgive us for our sins.
Right. But something we do not participate in anymore.
Yeah, and I wouldn't really say you guys were necessarily gaining an advantage from it, so.
Yeah, we were definitely not.
Yeah, you guys weren't, I guess you weren't necessarily breaking the code, you were kind of just, using it how you had to.
We were being middle school age kids, so.
who had one desktop.
Oh man.
God.
Painful.
And everybody's got multiple computers.
And I freaking remember that computer.
Did I have like
powerhouse
back there in the kitchen?
Like I have like alone 3 computers now, I think.
What? What's your third one?
Oh, I have 2 laptops.
What? You got another one?
Yeah.
What'd you get?
I have a Lenovo.
Oh, you didn't tell me about that, man. What the heck?
That was
What do
a
you
long
use it
time
for?
ago, dude. For school.
How long ago was this?
This was last winter.
Last winter. What? Jeez. Okay,
Yeah.
I've seen you since then, so I have no idea.
So, reeling it back in here.
Oh, that's what that sound was. Great.
Yeah,
My
I was
ears are
worrying
bleeding
about
now, but thank you.
fishing line. But I guess kind of why our general consensus here is that, you know, it's really not okay to explicitly break terms of service on a stream.
Yeah.
And think that it's okay.
I mean, you're playing with fire, right? I mean, even if it's not that big a deal, right? Even if we could qualify that it doesn't really matter that much. Like, you're doing something you shouldn't be and you're publicly displaying it, which is like public shaming to Blizzard in a way. You know what I mean? Just like,
I like that. I like that.
Yeah, and I mean, I do feel for Reckful and Soda as well. I mean, it's not something I wish on anyone, especially when you think about the time you've spent playing WoW. I'm sure these guys have both been playing WoW.
Yeah, you can feel it
for quite a while.
Soda's little message there, like, I have some insanely rare stuff, man. This sucks.
Yeah, and it hurts. I mean, this is not only, like, it's not just like it's just a game, but it's also like how much of my life is invested in this game.
A lot.
When it's an MMO.
Yeah.
So, yeah, sorry about that, but hopefully they'll be able to bounce back as best they can. I mean, they still have an active audience.
Yeah.
That will want to see them stream.
Yeah, I'm sure they can figure something out.
oh, definitely, yeah.
Right, and I'm sure this won't be the last thing we hear of it. I'm sure Blizzard will have a more, I don't want to say streamlined response, but a more fleshed out response.
Oh, get out.
With a little more depth.
There we
Get
go,
out
Wilson.
right now.
I was waiting for one of those.
Get out.
Well, I hate to disappoint.
Get out.
At any rate, we're going to go ahead and move over to Trade Chat. This is a section of the show where we hear from you all, the listeners. And as per usual, we are hearing from Trevorius, a.k.a. Trevor, this week. And he had a good tip to share about the Dino Island. This is the Isle of Giants you can visit in Pandaria. If you want to go here, you can farm up 9,999 dinosaur bones to get a rare white raptor mount. But Trevor has a tip that for doing the Dino Island, all you really need to do is grab a primal egg and then stop and wait for the egg to hatch and repeat. So when that primal egg hatches, you can actually get a good set of mounts from that egg when it hatches. So that's pretty cool. I picked one up the other day whenever I was farming, and it's about to hatch. So, Randall, have you picked up one of these bad boys before?
No, I have not.
Well, get on it. Jeez.
Yeah, I mean, you should definitely get one of these. I don't really don't know. We'll have to see if I ever get that white raptor mount. But I am still farming the bones as well.
So, well,
It is kind of
you're telling me that you need to put 9,999 dino bones on the wall.
Oh, man.
That was a stretch, but I'll give it to you. Yeah.
How courteous.
So,
Yes. Yeah.
and the other point that Trevor had to make was about, this last final fumes of a discussion we've been talking about racials and min-maxing characters, but he basically saying that the Forsaken's racial is kind of the same thing as the humans, so it's countered in some ways. So, of course, none of us are playing at the highest tier of competitiveness. So,
Randall,
for him,
are
it's
you
not a
in
huge
the top
factor.
100
Maybe I am in my secret life.
in your secret life that you don't tell us about?
Well,
Yeah, it is.
as long as you're not playing on someone else's high-tier account, better be careful.
Yeah, please no.
Well, I'm not streaming it, so it's okay.
Oh, okay. Good.
Right, that definitely helps. I mean, of course, the other way you could get caught out by that is if, there is a strong community on your server and it's obvious that you're not who you say you are, type of thing.
Yeah.
And then Blizzard gets notified.
We're gonna get way too into this if we keep going on it though.
Yeah, it's a hot topic, so handle with care, guys.
Yes.
So anyway, that was much appreciated feedback from Trevorius Maximus, commander of the armies of the North, general of the Felix Legions, and loyal servant of the true King Magni. And just a final reminder, you can find us on Emerald Dream. We all play together on Alliance Guild called PFL. If you want an invite to that, check out our show notes for our battle tags, and feel free to hit us up in-game or just on Battle.net. At this point, we are going to close out the show. Thanks for the group, and thanks for tuning in this week. Please feel free to shoot us any questions, complaints, or screenshots of you farming 9,999 dino bones to pals@palsforlife.net. That's also our website. And just a reminder, next week we will not be having a normal show. We'll be taking a break for the holidays. So
Yeah, Merry
you'll be
Christmas,
hearing back.
by the way.
Oh, late Merry Christmas, everybody.
Yeah, a little belated,
happy-
but
Hope it was wonderful.
Happy holidays and what is it? Happy Winter's Veil?
Yeah.
That was.
good job, buddy.
Anyway, so you'll be hearing back from us a little later in January. Try January 11th. So until next time, this has been Pals for Life. Bye.
Oh, hey, Wilson. Got in on that today, huh?
Yep, we're done.
Okay, we're done.
Oh, dang it, my right leg fell asleep though, guys.
Jeez, why didn't you do that? Don't do that.
I didn't mean to do it. My body feels wrong. My body is wrong.
Okay.
What's the best that can happen there?
Dude, it soaks the broth up really well, though.
I don't want to hear it.
Let's start it. Get it in here.